Okay, so next we're supposed to talk about dynamic and articulation, indications, and notation. So dynamics, you've got some different levels. You start with quiet, 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 which is triple P. It's written as a triple P. The Italian word is pianissimo, and it means extremely quiet. Usually I use the quiet pedal and I play as slowly and quietly into the key as possible. Because actually when you're playing on the piano, volume equals the speed that you're going into the key. Not necessarily the speed between one key and the next, but the speed of your finger going into the key versus having your volume. So loud would be you go into the key really fast, and quiet you go into it really slowly. A lot of people get it, they think it's playing the key hard or playing the key not as hard, whereas I could play the key really hard but in slow motion and it would play softly. So anyway, triple P, I'd play really slow motion into the key so that the hammer struck the string just slowly. And that's what causes that. So, and then you've got next up from that, so not quite as quiet would be pianissimo, still very quiet, which would be indicated by two P's. And then piano is just one P, and it just means quiet. And then you've got mezzo piano is the next level up, which is more like quiet talking level. It's not quite so obviously quiet, but neither is it really loud. And then you've got mezzo forte, which is just like a loud talker. Like you're talking at someone across the room, but you're not trying to talk over a ton of people, and you're not trying to yell at them either. And then you've got forte, which is pretty loud. Forte means loud. And then you've got like really loud, which is double forte or fortissimo. And then you've got triple forte, which is fortissimo. And there, I wrote them down there for kind of an order from quietest to loudest. Hopefully you can see all of those. And on top of that, you can get like sforzandos, which means like suddenly loud. And it looks like SFZ. And then sometimes you can have accents, which is just give this one a little bit more of a punch, and it looks kind of like that arrow thing. See if I can get that to show you. Yeah, that arrow thing there. And then you've got staccato, which is just a dot above or below the note head, which means disconnected. So it doesn't mean like punch it like the accent does so much. It just means come out of the note before the next note, detached, play detached. Versus legato, which is indicated by like slurring two notes. We'll pretend these are the notes we're slurring up here. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah. There you go. I slurred those notes, and that means legato. And you can do, so we could honestly do slur these two notes and then a staccato on the last one, and that would just mean connect the first notes and then come off of the last one. So like that wouldn't make any sense with them all being on the same note like that. But if they were three different notes, it would be like with the slur for the first three notes and then just come off the next one. But so to detach it from the coming note, not from the last note, essentially. And then you've got so those are a bunch of different dynamic markings that you've got. There's also indications of changing in dynamics and tempo, which are actually more of a gradual thing instead of like suddenly soft or suddenly loud. You've got indications like this here is a crescendo, and that means getting gradually louder and louder. And then this is a decrescendo, getting gradually softer and softer. And crescendo can be written like this, or crescendo all the way spelled out. And same thing with decrescendo. It could be abbreviated, or it could write the whole thing out. And then kind of similarly, you've got retard, means retardando. So means slow down in tempo, gradually slower and slower. And sometimes it's just written as rit, like that. And then accelerando can sometimes be written like Excel, or it could be written all out, accelerando. It means the opposite, get gradually faster and faster. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with the sound, and there's a lot of different ways that the composers have of indicating that. Sometimes they'll actually put at this beginning like presto con fuoco, which means very fast with fire. And really with those ones, they're just Italian terms, so look them up. Con brio, with, I think, like with energy or with fire or something like that. Not fire. Some really energetic term. And then you've got like scherzando, which means playful or fun, and a ton of different things like that. And then you've got your specific waltz pattern. So like this is a dance, so play it dance-like. They'll put in all sorts of different dynamic markings. Tempo. They'll put in, you know, quarter note gets 60 BPM. 66 BPM. And so that's going to be like maybe an andante speed. Kind of slowish, but not super slow, and stuff like that. They have a ton of different markings to show you how they want you to play the music specifically, and that really helps as you're trying to figure out what they want you to do. How fast do they want you to do it? How do they want you to do it? They'll give you these slurs, crescendo, decrescendo markings. Sometimes they'll label different parts of the music with different names. Like I was saying earlier, presto con fuoco could be one part. You could have an allegro section and then an allegretto section, which the allegro section would be faster than the allegretto section. And then the grave section would be really slow. And the presto section would be really fast, and so forth. Ton of different ways of writing how to do the music. And they all can help and give you some sort of idea, along with sometimes just very specific markings, like I was saying with the beats per minute. Sometimes they'll even write that in. I think Beethoven did that to start with, where he started really nailing down on how to interpret something. Whereas like in Bach's time, he'd just write down all the notes, and it was kind of up to the performer's discretion to play them however. So that's kind of developed over the years, where now composers are a lot more fastidious about how they want their music played, not just the notes, but how fast, how loud, how to contrast, all of that. So that's pretty much for now. I've got dynamic and articulation symbols. I think I covered that pretty thoroughly. There's a lot of them, but those are the basic ones, the fundamental ones. And then in an earlier video, I did the staff, the meter, the key signature, rhythmic, and pitch notation. So I think that's good for now.